Hello everybody, Dave here for the next episode of Dave Gets Wood, where I'm just going to try and put some of these pieces of wood together. I don't know how much I'm going to get done because I'm feeling absolutely fucking terrible today. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, my stomach's not feeling great, and I went to the doctor's 2 days ago. It's Friday today, Wednesday, so yeah, a couple of days ago. I can't remember when I recorded the last video clip, it might have been Tuesday. Yeah, I happened to be up early enough Wednesday to contact the doctors, so I did that and went to see them, and it turns out that I may have an abdominal hernia which is causing me some issues. I've also been passing blood through the number 2s recently. Well, I've been struggling or suffering with that every now and again for a while, but what was it, last week it happened 3 days in a row. So yeah, so I went to the doctors, and so I've got stuff I'm going to have to deal with in the near future. So there's going to be a camera up the backside, which I'm not looking forward to. And when I was at the doctors and they were examining me, this lovely little Indian lady says, she goes, I'm going to have to do a rectal exam. She physically gagged at the idea of having to do an exam, which I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to have to do that. But yeah, ooh, some big thunder. So we've got a storm coming over. So yeah, so I'm feeling pretty fucking shit today. But I'm going to try and get a bit done, because obviously it's been a long time since we've been able to get some stuff done. Things are kind of out of organisation at the moment. So for example, I've got all of the old screws here, which I'm not going to use. So I need to make sure that I'm going to be using the right screws in the right places, which was one of the reasons why I was not too sure about doing this today, in case I quite simply fuck everything up. But these should be the screws that pretty much attach everything together. I do still need to drill holes in these, but I'm probably going to stop if I get up to that point, because I want to make sure that I'm clear in mind to be able to make sure that that fits on without causing any damage. Because obviously one of the things that had happened previously with this table was that somebody tried doing repairs, and in doing so caused damage. So yeah, I do need to be careful. So what I'm mainly going to aim at doing is getting sort of these pieces, just get these stuck on in their correct places if I can, and then we'll look at getting them actually mounted to the table, and then this bit can be positioned at the end, and hopefully if I've got everything sort of put in place, it's absolutely hammering it down outside, then maybe I will be able to get the legs and make sure that they position up properly. Okay, so I'm going to need those, of which I'm going to get a tool. I'll get a couple. it is absolutely hammering it down outside. Now, like I said, because I'm not planning on doing loads here, mainly because of how I'm feeling, but also I'm still recovering from my back issues. It caused me a lot of problems last night in sleeping, so I'm just sort of trying to take little steps, so to speak. I'm surprised if that's going to drop all the way through. It is going to drop all the way through. Okay. Even though it is hammering it down out there as well, it's still quite warm. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've got to kind of be careful of how much I push myself. I've got a bit of overhang there that I don't think I should have. I wonder if that's it must be the right way around because the shapes are the same. I mean, something that I remember that I didn't do was I didn't really mark which corner pieces for which corner, but then there was only one original corner piece, but still I probably should have marked that one. So with this, it is mainly just about getting it mocked up, so it's not about getting it fitted and finished. It's just to make sure that it fits. Now on this particular piece we're going to be missing a screw from where I had to carve out a crack. So I'm not too fussed about doing these up too tight at the moment, given that there may have to be a little bit of play available in them. Let's move that over there in a moment, so I can bring this one over and pop this one on it. That's a bit awkward. That must have been a bit there. Okay. Okay, so that way round, that fits, which means that would have to be that way round. Let's make sure we get this right, shall we? So I'm going off the holes here because they didn't seem to quite line up properly. has this got indentations? Right, it's got indentations there, so screws went in that side, which means that went that way. Yeah. Okay. Ow. Ooh. Not a good idea to knee the table. Whew. In a way, I'm looking forward to getting back to doing some varnishing. I know that recently I'd mentioned about getting a new tool, getting the bench sander. I'm hoping to get that on Monday. It's Friday now, so I'm hoping to get that on Monday. So that I can work on the other project. Oh, should I say get the other project? Well, pretty much, yeah, finished. I'm hoping I should be able to finish it on on that one particular tool, but we'll see. Now, if anyone's wondering why I'm not, for example, just going, well, I can put all this back together like this and then just varnish it as it is, I don't want to do that. That's how it was done before, and I didn't like how it was done before. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. Also, while I've got it in bits, I might as well do it fully. The thing is, while doing this, there's a good chance I may learn that when it comes to actually fitting it together, there's probably a different sequence I'm going to have to do it. I may have to put the corners in before. I guess we shall find out. Right, so that's those pieces put together. So that technically, yeah. Okay, so doing that end is a little bit awkward. It's one of those situations where I'm going to need to measure it again, and then measure it again, and perhaps measure it a few more times before I go drilling any holes, because the previous piece was broken. I couldn't take any of the sort of measurement holes off it, really. Or could I? I might have a look actually, because I've still got all the wood. If I've got both the ends and it can give me the end holes, then I've got a chance. Obviously on the table are holes where this will screw into the table, but it's all well and good screwing this to the table, but then this bit needs to be positioned perfectly. But we'll see how we get on with that, because what I'm going to try and do now is actually screw these bits to the table, I'm going to need an extension. Also, another reason for not just going ahead and varnishing this when I put it on is because I still need to do work on the table. So yeah. Okay, so that will reach that now. So we're going to want one. Now this end, you know what this end must be? Yeah, this is where the broken one was. So the table is in exactly the same position because this hole is bigger than it really should be because whoever did the repair fucked it up. So basically I should be able to put this squeeze in here like this, and then every single one of them should line up. Let's find out, shall we? That one's not lined up. Oh wow, I was way off. So these should go in without any resistance. If I get resistance, then I know it's not in the right place. Okay. So it's not in tight, still got a bit of movement sort of to it, so we'll go and do that side. And then we'll do the end. Let's see if that's in the right place. That'll be a no. It'd be a bit awkward. But it might be slightly out of line because I've not tightened up all the pieces. Probably should have done that actually. Come on. How are you not lining up? Needs a little bit of manipulation. Okay. Right, so that's that one on. Let's do these up a little more. So we're going to want to pop that one on, and then we'll see about the corners and the middle. Oh. I just realised you might not be able to see properly. Let's move the table up a bit. Hope it doesn't fall off the end. Just see. Oh, you know what? That's a bit awkward. Then actually, no, it shouldn't be, because this has the potential to slide. It shouldn't be awkward. It should be easier, because it should allow the adjustment to line up. I'm not doing that all tight yet. Because if that needs to move, it can. But yeah, because they've got slots like that, it means it can move along them. Right, if this table is the right way round, then that's that corner. Which means that could be one of these corners, but that's not fitting in there. Well, I did say that, if I remember rightly, these are marginally oversized. The question is, if it is marginally oversized, which end would I have to take it off? That's a good question, because the holes should be in the right place, but the holes would only be in the right place if it's buttered up to an end, and I have got marks on them. Did I mark which end I've done it to? Looks like I might have, because they've all got more or less sets of mark for which is the top. Let's have a look at this one. Right, I haven't marked that one, but that's the top. or technically bottom, but for this way up it's the top because it's got the rounded edge. So if they're tops, so one way I could try doing this is just to sand the tops off, which is more than likely what I'll do, but ow, I need to check something. It's not quite long enough, but now, I'm not doing this in the most scientific way possible because I'm not exactly with it, but well, it would appear that I will need to sand those down a bit, but what we'll do is I'm going to pop this one in place so that I can try something. So that's it. Well, let's see. Right, so we can kind of hold this in place for a moment. And I wanted to put that there just so I could, no, you can't see, so that I could butt that up to it, to that. Mainly because I want to see what the situation is. Regarding this. So they actually would fit quite nicely. That's the top. Okay, so we've got one at the moment that's not quite fitting. Yeah, so this is where I would say that the people that repaired it before have effectively got to the stage that I have now, but without new pieces. But they've done it with this one here. So what they've done is they fitted these pieces of wood in and then tried to fit this in. With it being slightly oversized, they've done it here and then it's pushed this back a bit, which is why it's got a distorted hole. But then what they've also done, when the legs have come along, they've not buttered the legs up to the piece of wood, so it's then bowed and cracked. So I could try and force that in there, but I'm not going to. Now what I may be actually no. So I can't adjust this. The other end is adjustable slideways, but would have zero effect on what I've got here. So my only thing I can do is to sand this down a little bit to get it to fit, but I need to make sure that the screw holes would line up, because if they don't, then it's pointless. Bit awkward that, it looks like. They don't, maybe one of the other pieces. See, this is where, because I used the other pieces as a template, or did I use that one as a template? I used that one, didn't I? I may end up with holes that are not quite lined up. Take a slide anymore. I don't think it will. No, that's buttoned up quite. Centre screws also. Yeah, so that can't move any further. Let's have a look. Okay, that one looks like it might line up a little bit better, so we might go with that one. We'll check this one as well. Actually, that one looks better. So I may just have to take, right, I'm going to go with that one there. Oh. I'll go with that one in there. I may still need to take a little bit off those ones, but we shall see. Oh, I'm buggered. Okay. Now I'm not gonna put it in, but this bit would go across the middle, like so. So yeah. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to stop here. As I mentioned, I was going to stop when I got to the point of having to deal with that. Also, I'm done here now. I'm feeling like I need food now as well. So what I will probably do off camera is just number or mark these so I know which corner they're going to go in. But also something I might do off camera is any holes that are now showing on the table, excuse me, are not holes that are used. So what I can do is I can just, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze as well now. So what I can do is I can mark up any holes or anything like that that needs filling, needs repairing, because obviously that's the next stage of this. So it's another reason why I wanted to get all of this lot on, is so that I could work out, right, okay, which holes need filling, and all that kind of stuff. What I will say though is, it's an absolute buzz for me to see it in this kind of, in this situation. There's still a long way to go, but it's a good one for the positivity. This one, getting it looking like this, realising that we need to take just a little bit off these, which, to be honest, if I wait till Monday, it'll be a hell of a lot fucking easier to do. Well, I say that, it depends on whether I can get the tool up and running. Now whether I'm going to have a look at it with the legs on it, I might do, because one of the things that I will need to make sure is that the legs are able to butt up to these. But having said that, it's going to be a bit difficult to do that if this end isn't fitted on. So I don't know if there's a lot of movement. Okay, so you know what, there's not a hell of a lot of movement there, which would mean that if I had a long and thin enough pencil, or something to get in those holes, I could mark up where it could be drilled. Or could I do it the other way? Clamp it, take it off. That'll work. Right, I'm going to do that. I might run out of memory. Careful, I don't want it flying off. Well, I probably should have clamped it from the other side, but okay, so if I now unscrew it from the table and watch it fall off. You know, more than likely this is where I said I wouldn't do this yet, and I would take my time and get it done, but now I've found a cheap way to do it. So when this all goes wrong, we can all remember back to this moment and go, Dave, why the fuck did you do that? And I'll say, I don't fucking know. Okay, so let's screw that on there then. Ow. Try to do it without stabbing myself. Okay, so that is now attached to that. I am now sweating more than I would fucking like to. Oh. Move that out of the way because I don't want them to dictate where this is going to be. When that gets fastened on there properly, it'll go on with a couple of the little washers that we've got. That's I'm actually quite happy with that, to be fair. Now hopefully all the holes in these line up, but at least if they don't, I can replace those. Those holes should definitely line up because that's the original piece. So looking at it then, I think on the next video what I will do is I will screw in the corners and we'll get the legs on, just to make sure that all of the screw holes line up, everything lines up, the leg holes line up, because if we're going to have a problem with it, now's the time to find out about it. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a bit of a long one, and it's been a long wait for this one as well, but good progress today. It's been very, very difficult. I mean, this is one of the things I've said before with the things I personally have to deal with physically, that this particular task I've done today is not a difficult one, yet it has absolutely wiped me out. I'm done. So have a good one, and we'll see you all later. See you in a bit.